Hello everyone, let's discuss today's The Hindu newspaper editorial page. The first article is The Narrative of Development and Populism. In this article, the writer says that Prime Minister has announced projects worth over Rs 700 crore in the election-bound state of Madhya Pradesh, aiming to boost the state's development. Meanwhile, a major opposition party in Telangana has announced guarantees for the people of Telangana ahead of the assembly elections, including financial assistance to women, gas cylinders, free travel for women in state transport buses, and schemes promising annual financial assistance for farmers. These announcements highlight the growing focus on development and populism before elections, with the narrative that development is the long-term ideal and populism is dubbed as myopic. The development obsession has led to an easy route to make development appealing to voters by defining it narrowly in terms of visible physical infrastructure. This can be easily showcased and quantified, giving an advantage to incumbent governments if the scale of physical infrastructure creation is high. Opposition parties have three options: promise an even higher scale of infrastructure creation if voted to power, highlight the unsuitability of created infrastructure and dub it as failure, or address welfare of some section of the population left out through economic populism. Populism has two dimensions, political and economic. Political populism claims to represent the people, united by a common interest, and opposes restraints on the political executive. Economic populists, on the other hand, disfavor restraints on economic policy as they narrow their policy options. However, the economic policy environment tends to favor rules and restraints to prevent short-sighted policies. Unwavering commitment to rules can advance the interests of narrower groups, cementing their temporary advantage for long-term benefits. Conventional models of economic growth did not emphasize distribution, as it was assumed to be an inbuilt consequence of growth. However, cross-country growth experience shows that the benefits of growth do not trickle down easily, leading to outliers in the growth process. Government-led redistribution is needed to reduce these outliers and spread the benefits more evenly. Economic populism arises in this context, as it imposes fiscal costs and inappropriate physical resources. The next article is Criminal Law Bills and a Hollow Decolonization. In this article, the writer says that the introduction of the 3 criminal law bills in 2023 and earlier, while setting up the Committee for Reforms in Criminal Law in 2020, emphasized the decolonization that these bills would bring about. However, the bills do little to decolonize Indian criminal law, but indicate the continuation and intensification of colonial-style powers. Colonization is a process of oppression, where the colonized become vehicles for the supreme colonial power to fulfill its desires. The subjects serve the colonial state and remain at its mercy, with those in power having rights and those without must obey. The colonial state also considers itself to be forever at risk of being victimized by its rules, so the interest it needs to protect is its own, not the subjects'. A decolonized or post-colonial law would need to reflect the changed relationship between the citizen and the state. An independent people are not to serve but to be served through the state and government they give themselves. This fundamental shift changes the process of lawmaking, priorities, and purpose of the law. The bills fail to meet essential requirements, both in how they have been brought about and their content. They view citizens with increased suspicion and mistrust, making the state appear in opposition to the citizen. Most proposed changes to the BNS run through twin threads, compromise people, and arm the state against them. A notable feature of colonization is suppression in the disguise of security by giving the executive unchecked police powers. The Bharatiya Nagrik Suraksha Sanhita, BNSS, expands these powers considerably, allowing police custody for longer periods than allowed under the current Criminal Procedure Code. The next article is Gold Rush. India is improving its performance on the world stage in sports. In this article, the writer says that India comfortably moved past the 50-medal mark at the Asian Games in Hangzhou, chasing 100 medals. The country also won 15 medals, a record for a single day at the ASIAD, with 9 athletes. Avinash Sable, a frontrunner, brought the country's first athlete gold with a Games record. Tajinderpal Singh Tor, a record holder, retained his shot put gold with a last-round effort. India's athletics had been a gold mine at the last ASIAD in Jakarta 2018, bringing half of the 16 golds won overall. The women's cricket team won the title on its ASIAD debut, making cricket a global sport. India's young stars have learned to adapt better to the big stage, with a strong showing in various sports. The next article is Capturing the Rains. India needs all-weather insurance against vagaries of global climate. In this article, the writer says that India experienced a deficit monsoon for the first time since 2018, with 82 cm of rainfall from June to September. The monsoon was significantly impacted by the reverse phenomenon of a cooling La Niña between 2019 and 2022. About 9% of the country received excess rainfall, with 18% getting deficient and the rest getting normal rainfall. August saw record rainfall in several states, indicating widespread impacts of anthropogenic warming. The India Meteorological Department forecasted a normal northeast monsoon from October to December and normal to above normal rainfall over large parts of northwest India and south central India. The pattern in recent years is to improve forecast models that can better warn of significant weather changes ahead of the monsoon. More money and expertise should be directed towards this.